and welcome back to my YouTube channel Lux Insider with Anita Khatri. Today I am sitting with pocket watch collector and a clock collector, Himanshu Goyal. If I had to tell you about more about Himanshu, I was as surprised as you would be. He's an IT professional, but at heart he's a vintage clocks and a pocket watch collector. Other than that, during this journey, as he was collecting all of this, he also has collected a lot of other vintage pieces, which I was very surprised to discover. But over to Himanshu. Thank you for your time, Himanshu. We are so very delighted. Most importantly, I'm here today to learn also something from you because yes, I know the workings of a watch, but when it comes to pocket watches, I think you are more into it. So I am sure I'll end up learning something.
Sure.
So can you tell us actually from IT, how did this journey or where did it begin? Where did this love began for collecting pocket watches? So
Anita, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I mean, it's a pleasure and a delight, and I'm glad you're exposing the story of my passion, which is awesome. So the journey started from my childhood. My parents we inherited a lot of old clocks and pocket watches and timepieces, and I saw my father very dedicated to ensure they run. And over a period of time, you would imagine that just keeping them in shape and size was a challenge because you don't get mechanics who would take care of these.
So are you saying your dad was a pocket watch collector?
Yes,
Oh,
to begin with.
then that gives you the answer.
That's the
Okay.
answer, yeah.
Okay.
So, but he had few, and I saw him with the struggle, but the pleasure of things working was the smile I would always see on his face. And he, of course, never allowed me to touch any of his watches, and I was very intrigued. So whenever he would not be at home, I'll just go and tickle a bit,
Quietly, yeah.
quietly see. I ended up spoiling one of the well
Did you get
clocks.
punished?
I almost did, but
Okay.
then he said, "Okay, you're learning something." So he allowed me to wind it,
Okay.
and that's when the love started. So I mean, just I can tell a lot about the soul of the clocks just by hearing the sound of the ticking as well.
So with the ticking of the sound, you can.
I can tell you the position of the machine. Does it need service? Does it need any oiling? And of course, if there are problems, it will stop, and then I know how to fiddle with that. So that was my journey. And then when I traveled, I saw stuff in museum. I was really intrigued that I probably had ordinary watches at home. They were, of course, antique. I mean, we have a family history of 1906. My great great grandfather purchased a Waterbury from Dhaka. He used to travel for his business. And then when I got exposed to the museums and the artifacts which I saw around the world with my travels in my job, I was really wanting to have all of these. And slowly, steadily, I built this collection. And 99% of my watches work, which is what I ensure they do.
So how long, how many years of work and passion is this
Well, I
collection?
can say goes back to probably when the first time I winded my father's clock. I think that was 1980. So it's been like 45 odd years.
45 years.
And that is the time period I've traversed. And I help advise people on how to manage these clocks, people
Okay.
who have them, and we do have a lot of interest in people still in these.
Okay. So I am very, very curious and I am very curious to touch and feel some of these pocket watches. So if you could just tell me a little bit more about these and help me to understand a little bit. Of
Yeah.
course, I do know a little bit how it works, but I'm really impatient now to look at this one
Sure.
and to see a couple of others. But you can
Sure.
show it to
So
me.
maybe I'll give you a run on how these pocket watches came into being.
Okay.
So the story starts in early 1830s when
1830s.
right.
Okay.
That's when people started making movements. This was very commonly made in Germany and Britain of that
British, yeah,
time.
British is known for that.
And
America as well?
America came in the later
Later.
1800s with
Okay.
Elgin and Ansonia, a lot of these brands, New Heavens. I have a very interesting New Heavens skeletal watch, which you would see.
It's a skeletonized watch.
Yeah, so when the watches were being sold, there was a marked distinction on watches made of silver, gold, metal, brass, and that's when this particular company figured out that it would be cheaper to not have the dial, just the skeleton, so that it reduces some cost. And these
But
were the cheaper
wouldn't it be
versions.
actually more expensive because of the
No,
craftsmanship?
no. So that was the interesting part. They just removed the dial and they felt
Okay,
this would sell better, and this is very unique that way.
okay.
But I would want to show you one of my oldest watches. This is dating back to 1830s. Uh,
1830s.
yeah, it has a very nice mechanism. Wait,
But 1830s, where did you pick it up from?
Anita, you get to some collectors who want to sell. Plus, you also go in auctions where these things are available. And of course, you would want to explore the markets as well. So, this was a front opening watch originally made. This is a dial made of porcelain. And
Porcelain, huh?
yeah, and this is a very beautiful work behind.
Yeah, there is so much of work which is there. What interesting. I mean, this is really craftsmanship at its best when it comes to the work behind.
True.
It looks like a jeweler's work.
Yeah, so there was a combination of watchmaking and jewelry because people tend to customize a lot of these clocks for their own self.
Hmm.
And jewelers took active interest because then it needed a lot of expensive metals to be used as well, just to make it different than the regular ones.
So this is the oldest one which you
This
have?
is the oldest one I have, yes,
Okay.
and it's still working.
What is the number of collection that you have right now here of pocket watches? Just an approximate
These
number.
are like how many? 4, 6 are 24, probably 30 here.
And
Uh,
out of the 30 watches, this is the
this is the
oldest.
oldest.
Okay.
This is number one there.
Okay.
And then, Anita, what happened in this journey? We got various timepieces. Now, this is one which was made to signify a GMT connect. So it has another third hand,
Oh, yes,
so,
that's true.
and
Yeah.
it has a second hand as well. A time when people decided to make pocket watches for women. So this
Okay.
is one of the early ones made of metal, which is iron, and it has this beautiful insignia inside, made very decoratively.
Okay. Yes, indeed. The hands itself have a lot of element of workmanship here.
Yeah,
And this again, you pull it from
yeah,
here, right?
from behind.
From behind, is
Yeah.
it? How do you know it's from behind or
Yeah,
front?
there
I'm
was
getting very
this
confused
one
here.
small piece of iron jutting out.
Jutting out.
Yeah,
Okay, that becomes an
yeah.
indicator. Okay. Oh, nice. Even here, the bridges are done very well. So this is going to be a woman's watch, is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
and this we are talking about early 1900s
Early
time frame.
1900s. Okay.
And later, what happened? The brands started flowing in. So we had the Omegas of the world. We had Romer.
This is an Omega?
This is an Omega. It's very beautiful, made in silver.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
No,
I'll
I think I'd rather allow you to do it.
just press.
Oh, it's to press. Okay. So it has a seconds counter as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So this is your collection. And
yeah.
what if I decide to buy something? Can I buy it from you?
I can help you with my dealers
Okay.
who would want to sell. I try to stick to collection, but I advise people when they want to buy,
Okay.
understanding their requirements and guiding. And Anita, this is called a full hunter watch
Full
because
hunter
yeah,
watch.
because
And
it
why so?
because this glass is covered by this metal piece, so people who would go for hunting will take this and it will not get spoiled.
Oh, similar to Reverso of Jojo Le Coutre.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that was for polo and this one was
right.
for,
This was
okay.
for pure hunting.
Okay.
People wanted a watch to coordinate time.
Okay.
So this was
And
the
how
innovation.
old is this Omega
This
watch?
is, we are talking about 1940s.
1940s. Okay.
And then the jewelers still kept on pouring themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a beautiful silver metal case
Mm-hmm.
for full hunter.
Again,
Uh,
full hunter, because
yes,
yes, now
it's all covered.
so at least I learned this. I didn't know that there was a hunter's pocket watch. Okay, this is again to press to open
Just
it.
press from top.
Okay,
Let me,
no, I
let me.
think they listen to you, not to me. Oh no, it
There you
opened.
go. They get friendlier.
They do, they do.
So
So
this is,
again,
yeah,
there's a seconds counter,
correct,
but this
correct.
is not a brand.
Yeah. These are all Swiss movements or British movements, and then jewelers pick them up. They will make it customized.
Is there
Uh,
anything else which is branded which I'm
um,
not?
we have Faber Luba.
Oh, Pavlova. Okay,
This is again silver.
okay. This is silver.
Yeah, it's just the Bombay climate has made it black.
Yes.
We also have a Roma. This is steel, so it's pretty steady one.
Oh, that's a Roma. Okay.
So these hands are very unique and beautiful. This was the first pocket watch having this decorated round hands. And then I have another steel made Omega.
Mm-hmm.
This is in full steel.
It's a full steel. Oh, yeah. So this is an Omega which I see is of Grand Prix Paris in 1900. Grand Prix Paris 1900. I'm just very curious to know how did you manage to get these pieces? If you've not inherited, that means you have eye to buy these,
Yes.
right?
So, I have a word out. If anything unique comes to my dealers, they keep keep me posted, and that's how you make a decision. If something is unique, then you probably have it in the collection. So the other thing which I wanted to take you through, Anita, is one this interesting Omega. So this is a
This is an Omega as well?
yes. So
Okay.
this is a jeweler who probably made this with beautiful paintings, pearls.
And lovely pearl
Yeah,
setting as well.
it has an original chain as well.
Yes.
So the chain was to be tucked in your any button so that it's connected to your dress in some way. So you can
Yes.
pull it out and use it. Normally, ladies would keep this in the purse. Uh, but this is really the Victorian era work.
Can you open this side?
Yes, this I think opens. I was trying to open this, but I think this is yeah okay. So look at what jeweler has done. It's taken a smaller watch but try to make it bigger with this packaging.
Fabulous collection this is really. And what are these big pocket
Yeah.
watches?
So these are called Goliath watches. So David and Goliath story.
Yes.
Yeah. So while these were David's, this was a Goliath, and they
Okay.
were meant for putting it in cars. There was a bracket in every car in those days,
Okay.
and this is where there used to be stations so that
Okay.
people could see time. So
But how do you decide that this is a good price for a watch? How do you decide is it genuine, not genuine? Because
yeah,
yes, there are a lot of these dealers who are selling pocket watches, but then how
true.
do you decide whether these are genuine?
So the couple of things. I mean, you have to really look down to the bones and the sole.
Hmm.
So you got to open it up, check the machine, check the gears. You get a sense seeing the metal. You get a sense seeing the workmanship. Um, Anything which is original with some little of experience, I would say, you get to
Over a period
over
of
a period
time,
of
you come
time.
to know.
But it would be wrong to say that we don't make mistakes in making a buying judgment. Often you probably have an original case and you have a wrong body, and all those things happen.
So, did you encounter something like that?
Sometimes, because see, if you imagine someone who has kept the pocket watch for 100 years, they would have gone for repair many times.
Okay.
Now, whenever something goes for repair, the workmanship will require some changes, and based on what's the need of the watch, someone will just keep it as is and say, I'm not going to let anyone touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And someone will say, I have to use it and I will probably get it mended. Now, in the process of mending, there would be changes made. People will not keep the old parts as any of our users would be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you encounter something coming in the market for sale, you will see that does it have the platina, does it have few changes. So you know it has a history, and that is what is appreciated in this for collectors, because if they have a history to see how the watches travel time, I mean, that soul talks, and you make a price judgment based on that. But the price really depends, Anita, on rarity as well.
Mm-hmm.
So while, as I showed you, I have catalogs of these downloaded from free internet libraries. There are pieces which you probably know exist, but you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for someone like me who has probably seen a lot of these,
Mm-hmm.
if I see a unique one, like the skeletal one,
Mm-hmm.
while it has a, a story of making it cheap, but I believe it's one of the most beautiful part of my collection.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the uniqueness you go for. And if you find it, you can confirm it existed, it is original of its time. Yeah, you make a buying decision provided you can pay for it.
What is coming to my mind from all that you are telling me about? How do you maintain these watches?
Great question, Anita.
How do you maintain these? Because you were saying this is the oldest one. I don't know when you bought it. It is oldest watch, but
Yeah,
when did you bring? And you have been
around
into it for 40, 45
yeah,
years.
this
So
is
40,
me.
45 years you've been collecting these. How do you manage to look after them?
So I think the best discipline for these watches is, one is I tend to oil them once in a year. I use good quality Swiss oil.
So
Um,
you know watchmaking yourself.
well, I can do basic work. I'm not a watchmaker, but I can adjust few things if they are stuck. So I can
Okay.
adjust a spring, a few things,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't touch it, because when I take it to my mechanics, they hate for the fact that why did you really open it up?
Mm-hmm.
So the winding takes a lot of time. I mean, I do it once a month so that they're all working. And if I
So
find,
all
sure,
of them are mechanical and you have to wind them.
yes,
So that means you are winding them once a month
right,
and you're oiling them once a year.
correct,
And
correct.
these are only few of, you have to understand this and note this. These are only few pocket watches, but he has a number of clocks out here, which is what his passion is all about. I don't know how many clocks. I must ask Himanshu how many clocks and how do you maintain all of these clocks? Because right now I'm surrounded by a room which is filled with clocks. How many clocks are there in this
Well,
room itself?
I've closed half a century at the moment.
So 50 clocks, guys. And these 50 clocks, along with these watches or pocket watches, they have to be maintained. Because clocks, as we talk, I'm sure you'll have heard the chiming of the clocks, and the clocks are the ones which are telling you the time, minute repeaters. So they are all having gongs here. They are telling you the hour, and they're telling you, some of them telling you the quarter along with the hour, and some of them only telling you the hour. So how do you maintain these?
For the clocks, Anita, I take 4 hours every weekend to wind them up, which is
So
good.
no party for you, no
No,
socializing
well,
for
but
you.
that's the exercise. So I'm
Okay.
a couch potato, and at least this gets me going. So
Okay.
that's the fun part. And while doing that, I discover if there's any mechanical issue which I need to fix. So the weekly check literally gives me a sense of if anything needs repair or service, and that keeps everything going.
But you don't get fed up like every week, 4 hours you have to spend with the clocks by just checking and winding.
Yeah, there are days, and but my father, as I told you, my dad is 89 years of age, and he still wants all of them work on right time.
Ah, okay.
So if he catches me not doing it, he definitely would push me. But yeah, there are some weeks when I'm traveling, I'll probably let it pass. But yeah, it's good fun. I mean, it's just the passion which keeps
Is
it
a
going.
passion.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are these watches? You've kept these
Yeah.
watches to show us.
So
What is
there's an
this?
interesting story about how pocket watches went into become wristwatches.
Okay.
So I also want to share here, you have this tiny small pocket in your jeans.
Okay.
This was essentially made for pocket watch. The pocket watch will fit in there to be
In the
safe.
jean, you
Yeah.
in jeans you have two pockets.
Yeah, the
One,
small one.
yeah, the small one. That was for pocket
That
watch.
is for pocket watch, and
Okay.
the chain you will tug it in your belt,
Okay.
so that it stays safe and you can
Okay.
pull it out. So
Okay.
the story about the pocket watch getting converted to wristwatch is the Cartier had a friend in France who was an aviation enthusiast,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned to his friend that, look, just to pull out the pocket watch takes me another minute which I waste managing the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So what Cartier did was he put two lugs here and
Mm-hmm.
created the pocket watch into a wristwatch. And
Oh,
this was the innovation, and this just took off like wildfire thereafter.
and that's how the wristwatch
Yeah.
was. But wasn't wristwatches first worn after World War One?
Then it became so with the railways, as I showed you, there were railway regulators you saw,
Mm, mm,
then you saw aviators, then you saw army.
mm-hmm.
Army was the biggest
Biggest one, yeah.
purchaser of watches, and because of that, there was a lot of conversion of these pocket watches
Yes.
into wristwatches, and then wristwatches took off. So,
But even today, Bowie does that.
oh
You
yeah,
see,
right.
Bowie has a wristwatch which can get converted into pocket watch getting converted into a
Wow. I
wristwatch.
think I have one which is very interesting one. So, Anita, this is beautiful. The second clock runs reverse.
The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
seconds counter. You're
The
talking about
seconds
the
counter,
sub-dial.
yeah, the
Yeah,
sub
okay.
dial, it
It
runs reverse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so this is very unique, and
Oh my God. Why would this is just to get a
this is a
uniqueness or something?
design, but this is
Is
a
brevet.
huge, yeah, and it's a huge innovation in the mechanical design because you have now two clocks running in different directions.
Yes, so the seconds counter here in this brevet pocket watch is running reverse. The seconds are not running from 1, 2, 3, it's running reverse from 60. As you can see, it is 60, and then on the left hand side 10. How old is this watch?
This is probably 1940s.
1940s. Very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I also want to show you one army watch. So this is something which was very unique since we talked about the army moving on.
Yes.
So this is an army watch. The unique thing about it was it would always have a black dial because they didn't wanted any light to come off or reflect from the
Okay.
watch because of various reasons in the battlefield. And you would see there were control numbers, one on the dial and one on the back side. These numbers were same and they were marked to every army person who would get this.
But what was this number?
This was the control number. So a serial number, you can
Oh,
say, distributed to army, so that if they found watch lying somewhere in the war zone,
huh.
they could discover what's happening and what happened.
Okay. Okay. Manshu, now I have seen these and I have fallen in love. I wish I could take this one. This is very, very interesting. This is Omega Jewel watch.
Yeah.
But let's move and discover some of the clocks because these clocks are talking to you.
Yeah.
They are literally talking to you. So let us understand some of these clocks. So from the pocket watches, now we move on to the watch clocks which are there on the wall clocks. And the first one which intrigued us is Zenith. So Himanshu, can you tell us about how old is this clock
This would be around 1940s,
and where
and
did you buy it?
I got it in Bombay only. There
Oh,
was some
nice.
collector who had this.
Okay.
The beauty of this clock is that Zenith didn't make many wall clocks. So I didn't know
I
whether,
am actually surprised
yeah,
because I didn't know that there was a
correct.
wall clock made by
Correct.
Zenith, and that too you found it in Mumbai,
Yes.
which is like,
Yeah,
okay,
it was with some lover of clocks and who had bought it from Switzerland himself.
okay.
And the beauty of this
Had to be a
is,
Parsi by
well,
you should say. Ah,
that's a
yeah?
default.
Okay. All
Right.
right. Okay.
An aviator and
Aviator.
a
Okay.
Parsi.
Okay.
And the beauty of this, you see, it's all intact. The color is original,
I like the
and this is cut glass, which is
crust glass.
original.
Okay.
And this machine is actually around 6 kgs, while the likes of Ensoni and others would be around 1 at max or
Okay.
1.5. But the beauty of this is really strong machine because of which it has lasted so long. And the pendulum
So the machine
fixation,
you're talking about the clock
the
machine.
clock machine,
Okay.
yeah. So
The
what,
clock mechanical
yeah.
movement that is.
And why Zenith made this like this, in my understanding, is just to keep the accuracy of time.
Okay.
So
Yeah. They
that,
were movement manufacturers in
correct,
any
correct.
case. Okay.
And it has a pendulum which is made of mixed metals,
Okay.
so which keeps the time. Maybe I can open up and show
Yeah,
it to you
sure.
as well. Um,
Oh, nice.
so you see the dong, and if you just hold this pendulum,
Mhm.
this is pretty heavy. You will feel that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's solid iron, and look at the keys, how ornamental they were.
Yeah. So nice. Yes. Tell me, this you have to wind once in a day. It's
Once in a
24
week,
hours.
it's 8 days.
8 days
Yeah.
power reserve, is
Yes,
it?
yes, yes. So
Oh,
the spring mechanism, keeps that clock working for 8 days.
8 days.
The Japanese made a 30-day one. I have that as well.
Okay.
But all these British, American, they're all 8 days.
8 days. Okay. Okay, that's nice.
So that's my weekend ritual.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know what would, but
This is,
how expensive is this? I mean, just for our
well, this would go in, when I bought it many years ago, I probably paid around 45,000 for this.
and now it must be.
Yeah. I mean, I have not seen Zenith clock with anyone.
So it's a priceless
It
thing.
is probably a priceless thing.
So this clock has a moon phase here, and it's also having very intricate work
Correct.
inside on the dial of the
Dial, yeah.
clock. And then you have one pendulum. I don't know about these. What
These
are
are three
these?
weights.
Three weights.
So
Okay, so
essentially,
explain to us
yeah,
about
yeah.
what clock is this?
Yeah, so this is a Hermes clock from Germany,
Uh-huh.
and it has a moon phase. So if you see in the direction of the nose, it tells you the day of the moon calendar. And this is all ornamental,
Mhm.
this one. And these are weights. So imagine the gates are put on chains, and the weights are all are different in weight. They have different weights. One takes care of the chime, one takes care of the clock, and one takes care of the gongs.
Oh,
So you don't
okay.
have to wind this. It's very simple. You just open it, and you can actually just pull the chain. Anita, why don't you do this? Pull one chain, not this one, the other one, without
This
the
one?
gong.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just pull one chain, go straight from there. So you
Yeah.
winded the clock.
Ah,
So it's very simple, and these rings are the locks, so it will never overrun. You know,
okay.
like the cycle chain, it has controlled size.
Okay.
So because it is vertical, these locks hold on if you forget to wind, and you know it is
So
unwinded.
you as and when you see them coming lower and lower, you know that it's time for
It's time
winding.
to winding.
And what is this signifying here?
This is the lock I told you, no?
Okay.
So it will get stuck in the gear
Okay.
because if it had been the chain, it will just kept pull.
Okay. Okay. That's very nice. Really nice. And this is how old?
This is around 50 years, you can say.
50 years.
Yeah.
And it's kept so well. It
Well,
looks as if it was bought yesterday.
yeah, we have to keep polishing it.
polishing?
Yeah, yeah. So the way you wind this is you put a hand like this because this thing comes off if you put it from top.
Okay. This is winding?
This is winding. This is the key. So you wind this with this key. So Waterbury is one of the oldest clock company based out of US. I had the dial painted because that paper thing had gone bad. Everything rest is original, and this is the label which had the usage instructions of its time
Okay.
for all kind of clocks they made. Yeah, and
So, which are the Rolexes of wall clocks?
I'll get to that. That's Gustav Baker. But I want to tell you, Anita, about this. This is a compound metal pendulum, as it is called. So during summer and winter, when the metals tend to expand and contract, this combination ensures that all the expansion of one metal and the contraction of the other will take care of the pendulum. So you don't have to sort of again look for time being managed. It will not go fast and slow. So, and the mechanism to manage fast and slow is typical science of facts here, that if you have to make it run faster, you will wind up this in the clockwise direction so that the pendulum arm reduces. And if you have to make it slower, you will increase the length of the pendulum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we see Gustav Baker.
Yes. So, Anita, this is what I would say is the Rolex of clocks. GB, as it is called in its short form, was a great clockmaker. Literally, they made clocks by hand, very artistic. And as you see, this has survived probably 100 years. All metal, still looks beautiful. Has cut glass and various ornamental shapes, as you see. And the another beautiful thing about Gustav Baker clocks is that they have an eye on the sides. So if you want to know if something goes wrong with the clock, you can actually see it from inside rather than opening the whole machine. So that's a quick shortcut how they develop. So what intrigues me is just the story part, you know, how they thought about people would use, and they kept on making innovations over a period of time.
So, Gustav Baker is still, GB is still available now? I mean to say,
No,
are they manufacturing now?
I don't think they
So current
exist.
in current times, which are the Rolexes in the wall clocks? If somebody had to buy a nice wall clock, what is your recommendation?
Well, Hummels is one which is very good,
Okay,
German, that
it
I
still
it
exists.
still exists.
Okay,
And if you look at India, I think the likes of Ajanta is doing a great job. They
yes,
have made a similar one, grandfather clock,
yes,
which is pretty popular, I'm told.
yes, Indian. And
Indian.
if you have to look a global name, then the just German brand that you told me.
They are the Hummel is one, and there are few others you get antique ones, but I think in my memory, all the fresh ones, these are the ones who are making it currently.
And GB is a unique one that you have. So how old is this one?
This would be around 1930s.
1930s. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's again priceless, I
It
must say.
is, it is, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look at the wood, look at the
Yeah,
structure.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So you have so many clocks. If somebody had to buy a clock or something from your one of your collection pocket watch, are you still open to it?
Yeah, I'm open to it,
Okay.
provided I have a second
So guys, you'll
piece.
please listen. He's approachable. If you're looking for any of the pocket watches or any of the vintage wall clocks and you're doing up your homes or your offices, Himanshu is the place where you can connect with him. Let me know in the comments if you require any more information, any more help to get in touch with Himanshu. I'd be more than happy to do that. Thank you for watching us today and do not forget to press the like button. If you haven't subscribed the channel already, please do that now. Thank you.